Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos. I hope you're doing well this morning as we head to Tuesday, the 6th day of November. And of course, the holidays are just around the corner, and want to make sure that you shop Troy this Christmas and buy your, why go to Montgomery or Dothan? Buy your Christmas here in Troy and enhance our environment, enhance our local interest in our tax base. Quite a story out of Troy. Kylan Newsom, the young safety, 6'4" kid that I was been watching ever since I've been to Troy. Good morning, you on Today in LA. How you doing?
Mike Amos, Bud, Lou Verne. How
Bud, how you doing, my friend? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Just getting ready for the second season of gridiron football in high school. We start playoffs public school Friday night, and of course private school started last week with Prince John Pike Live playing locally. Just getting fired up and ready to see what happens and go from there.
No question about it. In fact, I was looking at Class 2A. Man, we just dominate Class 2A, at least teams from our region, and it really surprises me how many teams made it from our region.
Yeah, you're right. Football through Pike County, Crenshaw, and Dale County, and just throughout the whole South, Alabama, 2A's, a lot of folks think 2A's a little weaker than what it used to be, and it may be, but we're well represented in the 2A football playoffs.
I think out of all the playoffs in the state, the 2A local interest is there, no question. New Brockton at Leroy, you got
Goshen and Cottage Hill.
Yeah, that's right. You got Arrington at Thorsby, Goshen at Cottage Hill. You're right.
You got Highland Home hosting Chickasaw and Lou Verne hosting South Choctaw, which, in my opinion, now South Choctaw is 7-3, and they gonna come in here. I'm gonna say this, and I hope what I'm fixing to say don't come to fruition. But the way we've been playing ball here lately, Lou Verne, there's some things that hadn't changed from the first game to the 10th game. I wouldn't be surprised if Lou Verne don't lose the opening round.
Well, it could be tough. That's a tough opener. Sometimes you just don't get a good draw, and you think about it, to play 4 games or even 5 games and win a state championship, you better have some luck of the draw. Don't you agree?
That's right. You got to have the luck of the draw, and you've got to stay healthy. And Lou Verne has been healthy through most of the year, the season. And like you say, that's a tough draw. I can remember back in the late 90s, Southern Choctaw was right in there with Clay County and Mineville in 2A football, and they're still a good program. And we just got some things going on here at Lou Verne that it kind of concerns me as far as penalties. We still getting the same calls on penalties that we got in the first game, and we just hadn't gotten better like we did last year. Now, last year we gotten better as the year went along, and I think right now we just been at a standstill.
Yeah. I want to mention those games again. New Brockton at Leroy, and of course that's going to be a tough one there for New Brockton.
Absolutely.
We're looking at the luck of the draw, and of course Southern Choctaw at Lou Verne. The good thing is they're playing at Lou Verne. Don't you agree?
I agree. Yes, sir, I do.
And then you've got a Vincent 3-7 against a very good Abbeville team. Look out for Abbeville. Don't you agree?
I agree with that. And if Lou Verne wins, we'll in the second round face the winner of the Vincent Abbeville game, and I feel like it'll be Abbeville.
Well, that's not a luck of the draw there, is it?
No, well, so Abbeville upset someone. I think Headland at the end of the season.
They beat them last Friday night. You're exactly right.
And Headland was going into that game 9-0, ranked in the top 5 in 4A football or 3A football.
And I think the only game that they lost, Abbeville lost, was to Pike County, I believe.
That's correct. That's absolutely
right. You're looking at Lafayette at Geneva County. I didn't know they had made the playoffs. And, of course, Chickasaw at Highland Home. Nobody's playing any better than Highland Home right now.
They're not. Yeah, well, I'm going to say this, and we might not be comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. One of the teams I think around here, and I've said it all year long, one of the better teams playing around here is Crenshaw Christian in Private School 1A. They are really playing great ball right now. And everyone over there, the Cougar Nation, the football team, the players, the parents, has bought into Coach Grant's philosophy and the way he conducts his team in practices. And it's beginning to show not only on the field but in their record.
Yeah. Crenshaw County, 10-1 going up against Southern Academy. The winner comes to Troy.
That's
Won't
right.
that'll be a thrill for those folks at Crenshaw Christian, won't it?
And that's the thing about it, Mike. If Crenshaw pulls off, and I feel like they'll play Chambers, if they pull it off, there'll be 2 games at Luverne and probably 30 miles to Troy. And you couldn't ask for a better setup in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, no better. And, boy, Wayne Grant continues to show his majesty. Isn't that right?
You're absolutely right. In my opinion, there's not a better coach in the past, present, or future than Coach Wayne Grant.
Did he go out and get players, or did he mold the ones he had?
He's basically molded the ones he's had. Now, he's got a few, you get a few guys that get disgruntled at a public school, like at Luverne or Brantley or Highland Home, and they'll come in. But basically what he's working with is what they had. As a matter of fact, they've had 2 or 3 leave Crenshaw and go back to Luverne this off season, and he's basically molded what he's got. And listen, those guys can run. They like a boot camp. They can run and stay on top of it.
We're talking to Bud from Luverne this morning. Another team that's playing pretty good right now is Arrington. I've got a feeling they're going to go to Thorsby and win, even though Thorsby 9-1. What do you think?
I agree with that. They're playing good ball, and like you said, Arrington's in a region that's pretty tough. And of course, I don't know what all Thorsby plays. I know they're in that region with Reeltown. Reeltown's got a real good ball club this year, and always have had in the past with Coach O'Neill up there.
Jesse O'Neill, yes sir.
Who had been there for years, and I don't know who's got the reins now, but
yeah, that's Daleville. That's another one of our teams. Daleville at Reeltown. Reeltown's 8-2. I mean,
right. And listen, real towns like Brantley and some of your other football powers, when they've got tradition, and these young kids in elementary, they learn what it takes to be a winner when they come up through the Termite and Pee Wee programs. And teams like Reeltown and Luverne and Highland Home and Leroy and those type teams, they just stay on top of it and do a great job with the youth program.
If I had to name a coach of the year, it'd have to be the Highland Home coach, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Either between him and Wayne Grant.
Absolutely. Both of them done a great job, and Coach Coggins, he has to travel from, like I told you before, from Babina to Highland Home every day, and he's just put in the time and the effort. And there again, those youngsters at Highland Home have bought into his program. He's only been there 3 or 4. I don't think he's been there over 3 years, and he's got them in the weight room. And when they played Highland Home, of course, Luverne, I'm a graduate from Highland Home. Listen, you could tell when they come out on the field, you could tell that they have spent several hours in the weight room.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, in 1A, Sweetwater proved that they're Sweetwater, but bless their hearts, they got to go to Maplesville, 9-1. Is Maplesville the best high school program in the state of Alabama?
In 1A, probably so. Yes, sir.
No question. I mean, but every year, they've got a great player that plays for Troy out of Maplesville now, and there's just some of these towns that like Maplesville just win all the time. Of course, not just Maplesville, but a lot of others. Elba got a pretty tough one with Billingsley at home. What do you think?
Yeah, they do, but I think Elba will pull that out. Let me say this about Sweetwater. I don't know of a team in all my years of being involved with high school football that has a tougher schedule and region than Sweetwater. You look at Sweetwater in that region over there with Marengo and Pickens County. That's a tough region, Coach. And Sweetwater's not afraid to step out and play your Thomasvilles and that type ball club.
And that's what makes them better, don't you think?
Absolutely. You don't get any better. You only get better by playing better competition.
Well, to take a look at Troy, and then I've got to move on this morning. Right now, it's going to be between I think Chambers, they're loving in the hole, and they're coached by one of the assistant coaches, Tommy Garrett, a good friend of mine that I grew up with right here in Troy. And his daddy's a legendary Tommy Garrett, that the stadium at Central High, Phoenix City, is named after him.
That's right, and you can't find a better program in ASI football than Chambers. They've been tough and strong for years.
So wouldn't it tickle you to see Chambers and Crenshaw in Troy for the championship? But they got to beat, Crenshaw's got to beat Southern Choctaw.
That's right.
They got to beat Southern Academy.
Beat Southern. Take it one game at a time, and we see what happens. Listen, I appreciate you, Mike, for what you do. Thank you for taking my call.
Listen, I always enjoy it. Let's call tomorrow and let's talk more about this independent school championship.
We'll do it, Coach. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Okay, and that's Bud from Luverne calling in, talking about high school football. We've got a great show for you. We'll bring them in right after this.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Check out these cool savings going on now during our hot summer sale at your local Troy and Ozark Road Marts, like our $29.99 oil change special or our $129.99 brake special. We'll also keep you cool during these hot days of summer with our $29.99 AC special. So come see us and take advantage of these hot summer specials at your friendly Troy and Ozark Road Marts, where we've been serving our friends and neighbors all over the Wiregrass since 1974.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military. That's right, not a $1,000 sign-on bonus, but $1,200 sign-on bonus at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your service. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we support our military.
Back to our show, brought to you by Troy Nissan on the bypass. We appreciate them very much. Our guest today, Daniel Garrett and his wife, Rachel Garrett. They both are employees at Health Action.
That's right.
And tell us what you got going.
So, you want to?
You go.
Okay, so right now.
Wait a minute, she always gets her way, is that right? Okay.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are having a free screen contest, which means you call into Health Actions. Our phone number is 670-5435. And you get on our schedule for a free screen. It literally only costs you 20 minutes of your day. And our PTs will assess you and see what's going on. They write it up, you take it to your doctor, and then you can get a prescription to come in and see us. And the upside is not only is better mobility and quality of life, but you also go into a drawing for a $50 Visa gift card right there before Black Friday. So
that's right. There's no question. Before we get into this thing too deep, ladies and gentlemen, this young lady is the granddaughter of the great P.L. Pete Farrell. How many folks out there know Pete Farrell, one of my favorite people on this earth? I told her yesterday he would rank in my top 5. And, of course, everybody that loves Pete Farrell can see Pete Farrell all over this young lady here. Of course, now tell us who your mother is.
my mom's Lisa Law.
Yeah.
She's married to Johnny. And then my dad's Dennis Kelly, and he's married to Stephanie.
Yeah. Of course, how many grandchildren did Pete have?
So he's got 3 because my mom had 3 girls.
Yeah.
And then now he's got 2 great granddaughters.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, they're fun.
Of course, he is at a residence in
He's
Montgomery.
in Montgomery now.
Yeah. Great guy. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hi, morning.
Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Mike, I've got
great,
help.
the great DeMarcus Ware went down last night in Dancing with the Stars. He is no longer in the competition. So
Well,
that's pretty good.
well, okay, that broke a lot of people's hearts, didn't it? But did he?
I tell you what, he was really good though. I mean, for a guy that size, 6'4", 6'5", probably about 250 pounds.
Yes,
So
y'all
the dance like that's
know-
pretty
Y'all know what
cool.
he's talking about?
Oh, Dancing with the
I
Stars.
know exactly. And of course, everybody was rooting for DeMarcus Ware, former Troy great, and Dallas Cowboy great, and but so he went down. He broke a lot of hearts.
But yeah, you know, he won it all with Denver in the Super Bowl. So I'm sure there's a lot of Denver fans too.
Oh yeah, no question about it. Mike, I've got Health Actions here this morning, and this that you're doing is quite unique, isn't it? I mean, to be able to offer this kind of service.
Yeah, it's all about the patient. It's all about getting them better.
Yeah.
That's what our main goal is: move better, live better.
Yeah. All right, and of course, what is your actual? What do you actually do at Health Action?
I am a physical therapist assistant. So if you put it in comparisons to like a doctor and a nurse, I would be similar to a nurse. The physical therapist is the PT,
exactly.
and then I'm the PTA. So
Yeah. Now, what you're saying is they can call in and get a appointment to see one of your specialists. And then after they find out what your problem is, they submit it to a doctor, and then that doctor writes you a prescription. All right, well, give me an example of that.
So we're just using my mom. She came in yesterday with a shoulder problem. She also has migraine issues.
That's so hard, I know that.
They're hereditary. They started with Pete Daddy's grandmother, and they worked all the way down.
All the way from
All the way
Geneva,
down.
Alabama. You
Right.
know that, don't you?
Yep, all the way
Well,
down.
no, well, Pete's from Phoenix City, though.
Phoenix City.
Yeah.
And so she came in, and our head PT, Samantha, assessed her yesterday, fixed her shoulder, popped it a couple ribs back into place,
Yeah.
and got her a write-up for her shoulder pain and her migraines, and
Isn't
I took it
that
over to Ben
fantastic?
Smith.
Isn't that fantastic? Mike, how many times you ever heard me say the name Pete Farrell?
Oh, a lot. Probably about 1,000 on the show.
Yeah, not just on the show, but growing up. Is that right?
Yeah, he was my principal when I was at Cherry Street Elementary growing up.
Yeah, that's my Pete Daddy.
I tell you, he was. Anybody out there that knows Pete Farrell loves Pete Farrell. That's the kind of guy he was.
Yeah.
Or he
You know,
is.
when you're growing up in Troy, you didn't even know the College View kids. There's Cherry Street Elementary, and then there's College View.
Yeah, that's right.
We didn't meet each other until junior high.
Yeah. And I was in that, and I reckon we're jumping off subject real quick, but I was in the nursing school at Troy the other day, and I said to myself, I've been here before. Didn't y'all go to school there briefly?
Yeah, we went there 1 year. They merged everybody to College View for 1 year.
And Troy University bought the facility, and that's the nursing school. All right, now tell us how they can get involved with this now. When will this start?
Oh, it started last week. It is up and
Okay.
running.
All right.
It
so,
runs through the day before Thanksgiving. We'll have a live drawing on Facebook so everybody can see who wins.
Yeah.
And it's up for $50.
Okay, now, what they do, they come to your place and are examined. Is that right? And not only physically, but mentally. Is that right?
Well, we want to know everything about you.
Yeah. And then, and of course, do you put them through a workout, or what do you do?
No, the screen is more or less all they got to do is give us a call. We can get them on the schedule, and then they can come in and see us. Sometimes we can work in some walk-ins. It all depends on the schedule for the day. But what the PT does, it takes about 15 minutes, is just kind of runs through and assesses the patient, like Rachel said with her mother, to check out the shoulder or whatever their issue is. So if they're saying that they have knee pain, we're probably going to assess the ankle, the knee, and the hip, and maybe the low back as well, because it all kind of runs together. It takes about 10-15 minutes to do, just testing the strength, testing the range, testing the mobility through those areas. And then we don't write a diagnosis or anything. We just kind of put down what our findings are. That way they can take it to the doctor for that prescription, or we can send it to their doctor.
Of course, their facility is located on Highway 231 South, right next to the where you turn to go into
Zaxby's.
Zaxby's and the barbecue house.
Hooks.
So it's in a great location. It's been there. Now, right now, I know you stay pretty busy with referrals from doctors and so forth. There's so many people out there that are hurting that really could get some help, and their hospital insurance would pay for it, and they don't even realize it.
Right.
Everybody's always worried about having to pay a bunch of money, but what you need to do is find out exactly what the problem is, and you'll find out and be able to tell them if the insurance will cover it. In many instances, it will. We just don't realize it.
Right. We accept all the big insurances. And, you know, with the free screen thing, usually if you're going to your regular doctor, it's because you have bronchitis or the flu.
Yeah.
And you don't even think about, oh, doc, my back's been hurting for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You just think it's a part of life or getting older or whatever. In reality, you take your car to the shop for tune-ups, you get your oil changed, you get your tires balanced and
that's
rotated.
right.
But this is the only body you got. And if you
That's
don't
right.
take care of it, you're not going to have it.
That's right.
So
exactly
you might
right.
as well get it fixed up and tuned up and the
Exactly
best
right.
it can be.
And of course, y'all have the facilities to do it, and
We have a wonderful facility.
and then if you see that most of the time you're getting people out of surgery, is that right? And rehabbing folks out of surgery. But do you ever rehab folks and then find out they need surgery?
We actually do a lot of those. A lot of doctors refer patients to us before knee surgery. So if they plan on having one, they want that patient to come to us to get as much mobility and strength as they can through that limb or that area that they're going to have surgery on. That way, the restoration process is quicker when they get out of surgery. They can jump back quicker.
Exactly. You people that have Blue Cross Blue Shield, in many cases, they will cover rehab. And like everybody said, well, I'm going to have that surgery, then I'm going to go through rehab. Hey, have rehab here in Troy. You've got the facility.
Absolutely.
Don't go to Montgomery. Don't go to Dothan or Enterprise. You can get it done right here in Troy.
Right here in town.
Now, do you have a doctor that's overseeing pretty much what y'all are doing, or how does that work? Do you forward the information to their doctor?
The doctor refers them to us, and then we have to, we report our findings and what we're doing to that doctor. Then that doctor can decide if they need to continue or if they need to do an alternate route of treatment or care, be it medicine or surgery or something like that. But there's not a doctor directly over us.
Okay.
They just provide the referrals.
Well, I tell you what, the times I've been in there, y'all have been busy, and you got a professional person working with every individual. All right, now tell us exactly what somebody that is interested in this should do.
So if you're interested in the free screen route, call us at 670-5435
All right.
and get on the schedule. That's all you got to
exactly.
do first. And then you come and spend about 20-25 minutes with us.
And that's all you got to do.
That's all you got to
gotta
do. And if you like your free screen, if you enjoyed what happened, how everything went down, you can also refer other people to us, and then you get your name
in the hat, too.
again. Yeah. So for every referral, if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, Jane told me to come and see y'all," then we'll put Jane's name down into the box too.
Yeah, and exactly what do they win?
$50 Visa gift card.
All right, okay, good. And that's going to be fun right here at Christmas, no question
Oh, yeah.
about it.
Right.
Now,
What if you did a slab of ribs at Hooks? That might be good too.
Right, yeah.
Mike, Daniel Garrett,
I was having dreamland the other day, and I tell you what, Dad, I might have to put Hooks #1 on ribs now.
Hooks is so good. And
is
it
really
smells
good.
so good. We walk out the back
I know
door
you
and it
do.
smells so
Yeah.
good every day.
Now, Daniel, you grew up right here in Troy. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Monticello. I actually played football down with Wayne Grant. I heard you talking about him
Yeah.
earlier down at Pike County.
That's right. I remember when you played. You were a good one, too.
Well, appreciate it.
And of course, how long y'all been married?
Since 2013.
This is
Now they put her at one end of the building and put you at
They
the
really
other
do.
end
That's
of the
not
building.
that's not a lie. That's not a lie. He stays in the clinic area, and then I'm the mouth, so I stay outside of.
Well, I know
the
it's a
building.
good company. It originates out of Jackson,
Out of
Alabama.
Jackson,
Yes,
Great
sir.
Alabama.
people,
We've been around over 30 years.
very successful, and now they're in Troy. And at a very convenient location, and can they drop by?
Oh yeah. Anybody can drop by if you want to take a tour of the facility. All you gotta do is come in, and we can either have a tech or myself or a PT walk you through and kind of introduce you to everybody, and just check out the clinic.
All right. Now, when do you get the free screening?
We do the free screens all throughout the day.
All right, and that's going on, and that's a big opportunity. Somebody's got problems with their knee. Now, that's what a lot of people need to know. They could have something wrong with their shoulder, their knee, their hip.
Headaches, backaches.
And you're saying to yourself, well, I need to see a doctor. I'm wondering what I've got, what my problem is. Is it my knee, or is it my ankle, or is it my hip? Y'all actually do the diagnosis?
Well, we don't do diagnosis. The doctor has to do the diagnosis. What we do is just we treat and correct the issue that's presented.
But what are y'all's hours of operation?
We are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and then on Fridays from 7 to 12.
Okay.
And I tell you, they do a great job, and we appreciate it. And of course, Daniel, can they ask for you or ask for Rachel?
Well, Rachel can't treat you. They can talk to Rachel all they want. But yeah, if you want me specifically, I actually have a lot of patients that ask for me. They call me the knee whisperer.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, you can.
All great.
Yeah, you can request whoever you want. But yeah.
But I mean, if they like if they've got a problem and say, well, I need to go to the doctor with it. Now, is there any advantage of going to you first, or what?
Well, if they come to us, say they might have sprained their ankle, or they might have something going on their knee that they're not 100% sure of going to the doctor for. What our evaluation does, or our screen, is kind of goes through some of our tests, our special tests that tells us what's going on. Yeah. So, say they sprung their ankle and we think it's just a sprain, we can give them information and exercises there that day on, hey, try this out, and then if this doesn't work, you need to go see your doctor to get further evaluation. Or if they come in and we're like, ooh, we think that's broke, you really need to go to the doctor, then they can take that step. It's just kind of a...
Hopefully save you a copay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good.
When you're dealing with athletes, you hear of a lot of people having high ankle springs. I mean, there's a lot of guys in Alabama have them right now, Troy players and stuff like that. How long does it really take to come back from a high ankle sprain?
High ankle sprain? I actually had one when I was playing in high school, and it took me several weeks. It's a pretty uncommon injury, but it's almost like a little stress fracture in the bone. It's not completely a break or a fracture per se, but you almost tear that muscle off the bone. So it takes a little while to rehab.
I know a hamstring is awful. That takes forever.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know now why your daddy didn't complete his college football career. Mine kept, and I never could get it well. And mine snapped.
Ooh, no good.
You know how painful that is. I had to be carried off the field. I mean, literally carried for 100 yards or more.
Oh, goodness.
And that's one of the worst injuries there is out there. Okay, again, you're open and ready to hear from folks.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Just walk in and say, I've heard about the screening, and what happens there.
We can fit you into the schedule and get you back to see the PT so they can do the screening process. If you want to make more of an appointment, that way you don't have to wait per se. Because if we've got a lot of people in the building, it may take a little while to get you in if you do a walk-in. But if you want a definite spot, like, hey, I want to be there at 2 and I want to get seen, just give us a call and we can get you on the schedule.
That is great. That's great.
I would like to say, a lot of people think physical therapy is ankles, wrists, bone-wise. We can help a lot of other issues, balance, vertigo. I know a lot of people have dizziness that they're like, well, I just need to take some medicine. We can help with that kind of headaches.
Yeah, oh yeah.
A lot of out-of-the-box things can be treated with physical therapy that a lot of people wouldn't associate with physical therapy.
We've got a real good facility. Help Actions Physical Therapy right here in Troy, Alabama, and again, great people and with a great staff there to see you today. And I'm just glad y'all are in town.
Yes, sir.
Y'all do a great job.
Have a great time.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for having us. We appreciate it.
We'll be back. And of course, y'all going to save this film, I hope. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly specials.
Yeah. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate those folks coming in and being a part of our show this morning, and that is a real nice facility for rehab, and we appreciate them very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a sad note today. Kenny Harris died Friday, November the 2nd at Troy Regional Medical Center, and services for Mr. Kenny Harris were held yesterday, and we're just now finding out about it. I hate that, but if there's any way you can get your word to the family, I'm sure they'd appreciate it very much. Again, no paper on Monday means you don't get the news until Tuesday. Of course, he was survived by his children, Gary Berry and Deborah and Kenneth L. Harris Jr. and Vonda, Lisa Wheeler and Gary, and several grandchildren. And tell you what,
he was a big member of the Church of Christ.
Yes, sir, and a great supporter of a lot of different things. A man of great, he was a man that loved his community and gave back to his community, and of course was a big-time businessman, and started Harris Tire, and he's the one that brought your your granddaddy out, Mike, with the gas company. And of course, he was very successful in that, and of course, supported Faulkner University in Montgomery, and Troy University.
He always had that big Winnebago. He was really in with country music too, wasn't he?
Yes, sir. He was in with country music, and buddy, he had a big Winnebago at one time. You remember how he used to park it up front there?
Yeah.
And it was a
I know most of his grandkids all went to David Lipscomb up there in Nashville, too.
That's right. In Faulkner, David Lipscomb, and great Church of Christ schools. And, he traveled on that motorhome all across the world and all across the country. And, of course, as I mentioned, he was a shell distributor, and that's how he got it started. And at one time, he had a barbecue place, Mike, called Kenny's Truck Stop on the located between Ozark and Troy. And buddy, it was some of the best barbecue you ever eaten. But
Well, they kind of built their own community down there. What's it called?
Yeah, that's right.
Crossroads?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Down there at the Crossroads, you're exactly right. And great people.
Yeah, he'll definitely be missed. I hate to hear that. He was a guy that had been around, a lot of stuff in Troy for many years.
No question. Been around Hamilton Crossroads, all those. Very active in Hamilton Crossroads Church of Christ. He's the kind of guy that gave to a lot of things that people don't know he was given to, and supported a lot of things that a lot of people didn't know he was supporting. And he was just a great man, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people that knew him, really loved Kenny Harris. Great guy. I want to mention other things going on right now. Pike County Ford has got a big sale going on right now. And of course, if you'll drop by there, they'll give you one of these very patriotic hats. And there I go, man. Right now, I am ready to go to Troy, Pike County Ford on the bypass. Remember the season opener, Mike, for basketball tonight, and it's free admission.
Yeah, they play
free
Fort Valley
admission.
State.
What now?
They play Fort Valley State.
Yep, and it's a free game. Then, of course, you need to go ahead and buy your season tickets. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better venue and a better place to watch basketball. I'm hoping that Troy will have big crowds this year. I know they've struggled to get people to come to games in the new arenas. It's kind of been, sad to see, I guess the inability to ever sell out much at all. I mean, I think maybe they sold out one time against Mississippi State when that arena first opened, but I think if we could at least get 2,500 in their game, that's still a pretty decent home atmosphere.
No question about it, and hopefully we will get a lot of support.
I mean, I never in my life thought Troy would have a basketball arena that nice. I mean, it's one of the nicest in the country. It's unbelievable.
Basketball also continues at Florida State. Troy University's women play Florida State today in Tallahassee.
Yeah, how was Coach Rigby when you had her on the show the other day?
Great. She was great.
I missed that interview.
Let me tell you one of the things that's going to change women's basketball a little bit, and men's too, is the Sun Belt Conference, for some crazy reason, voted that the boys and the girls would not play on the same night. Can you believe that?
Wow, travel expenses seem like that'd be really
Well,
bad.
and also attendance. Don't you know that the men, people coming in to watch the men's game, would go early and watch the women's game?
Yeah, that is a really strange move. I'm shocked by that. What was the reasoning?
I don't know. I reckon to spotlight women's basketball.
Imagine that electric bill, too.
I know it. But, let me tell you, I don't know if they ever turned the lights off there. I've been by there in the middle of the night, and those lights in that arena were still open, on and so forth.
Yeah, Coach Rigby's done a tremendous job there. I'm sure she's,
she's a great coach.
One of those coaches that a lot of people look at, maybe for a bigger time job down the road. She started doing
I tell you what, she sat by me.
3 times or twice?
Why now?
She's been in the tournament 2 times or 3 times?
I think 2 or 3 times, but of course she's an excellent coach. You know what she says, and this will surprise you a little bit. Before they go on the court to play any game, she'll tell the girls, she said, I want you to score 112 points, or 120 points. 120 points is her goal every game, Mike, to score.
So she's kind of like Don Maestri back in the day with those teams.
Exactly. She loves to score a bunch of points, and they're a lot of fun to watch. And
boy, what happened to the Cowboys last night? I didn't get to watch much of that game.
Well, I'll tell you what. They ran into 2 things. One thing, a quarterback that was awfully good, but also a running back that played at Alabama that was awfully good.
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, he looked good. But Cooper plays for the Dallas now, Mike, and scored a touchdown
was
early.
Dak Prescott over to get him the ball, isn't he? Yeah, he had 5 catches for 58 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, not much. Prescott's not playing very well right now, and Dallas is not playing very well.
You think they're going to bring Tony Romo back?
I don't know. Let me ask you a question the other day, and I was watching the game and didn't watch all of it. How did Green Bay and New England come out?
New England won that game.
They did? So Green Bay's in trouble then, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're definitely, you know, I mean, right now it looks like the two teams that are going to match up is probably going to be the Saints and it's going to be the Saints and the Rams against the Patriots, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, exactly. Want to congratulate.
I tell you what, New Orleans is really good.
They sure are, and I'm glad to see it. You know, let me tell you why they're good. They're now playing defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They didn't. What I'm saying, in the past, they've always been good on offense, but people just outscore them, you know.
Yeah, New England won 31-17.
Well,
Coach Brown's press conference yesterday, and of course, you know, they're talking about Georgia Southern and the big game this week. And you know, injury-wise, looks like Marcus Jones is going to be out another week. It looks like DeAndre Douglas, he said, is going to practice some this week, but it's still a game-time decision.
They need to play him. They need to at least put him in there and make them double cover him, you know.
So Darius Rucker, who's the great safety for Troy, has got a hip injury, and he had to go to Birmingham yesterday.
See, he's hurt. He'll miss. And
to get tests run, and they don't know about him. And then even worse than that, against a team like Georgia Southern, Trayvon Sanders got hurt, the great nose guard.
Oh, no,
and
he's
got to play. He's a game-time decision as well.
He's got to play.
Unfortunately, Troy has run into a lot of big-time injuries this year where, you know...
Well, Sanders has got to play, I'm telling you. It's very important.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt Kelly got dinged up a little bit on the offensive line. You know, we had tremendous issues with, you know, DeMontre Crumdy, the center, who's been a great player, starter for 40 games in a row. Couldn't get the snap. I mean, he kept on snapping it over Sawyer Smith's head. And
I know it.
High the whole game, and then Dylan Bradshaw came in and kind of helped out. But that's something we can't have on the road. You can't have snaps going over guys' heads.
No question. We're talking about Troy and
thank goodness Sawyer Smith's about 6'4". He was able to, you know, catch a lot of them.
And let me just tell you, Mike, this sort of sneaked in on me. Sawyer Smith was 18 out of 21 for 305 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that 317 yards. I mean, that's one of the best days the quarterback's had in Troy history. But I will credit Coach Brown. He never mentioned him in the press conference.
Never mentioned wide receiver?
I guess he doesn't want him to get the big head.
You mean the wide receiver?
No, he never mentioned Sawyer Smith. Yeah. All he talked about was Willis the whole time.
What Willis called?
Damian Willis had a career day, and Coach Brown was extremely upset. He didn't get the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the week. They gave it to Evans, the quarterback at Lon Monroe.
Well, let me just say this. He made a catch, and it was for all the marbles. As far as I'm concerned, it was a possession catch where he went up and he took the one hand up there and caught the ball with one hand and went down. That was NFL's player or the ESPN's player of the week. Did you know that? It was one of them.
I didn't realize that. It was the ESPN top 10.
Yeah, and if you had watched the game, and I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I watched the whole game, actually. John Reeves came into town with Virginia. We got to watch it.
Was it pretty good? Pretty good TV?
I mean, the commentators are so-so, but I mean, the quality to be able to watch it on a big screen television was nice.
And where will people this week be able to watch the Georgia Southern game?
It's going to be on the same thing, ESPN Plus. What you have to do is go on the ESPN Plus app.
How do you get that? How do you do that?
Get it on your phone or get it on your tablet and pay $4.99.
You can't.
Actually, I'll be honest with you. The ESPN Plus offers a 7-day free trial, so you could actually sign up and get it for free.
All right, now who do you go through?
You just got to go to the ESPN app and go to ESPN Plus, and that's how you can get the game.
Okay, and I wish I had somebody to sit right here and do it for the people so they'll know.
You're going to the game, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to the game. But
what time is that? That's going to be a 12 o'clock kick, is that correct?
12 o'clock, early morning kick. Is this ESPN Plus? Can a lot of people see it, or will they have to look for it?
Anybody that has a smartphone or a tablet that has the ESPN app, you can get it. All you got to do is sign up and actually get a 7-day free trial, so you can get it for free.
But again, though, it doesn't.
But even if you pay for it, it's $4.99 a month. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I know it. What would be the advantage of doing that? Would you go to your cable office and sign up, or what?
No, anybody can do it.
Okay. Well, except for me, I don't know how to do it.
I mean, why would you want to do it? You're going to the game.
I know it, but other stuff on there.
I mean, anybody wanting to watch it over the phone? Like, I could watch it over my phone when I'm in Tuscaloosa tailgate.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, you'll be using the Mississippi State tickets. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how that game is going to turn out. You know, Mississippi State's got a great defense up front. Actually, the top defense in the SEC according to numbers. But, you know, I mean, just like we talk about it all the time, will Nick Fitzgerald throw 3 interceptions? You know, I think Alabama will definitely just stop the run and force Fitzgerald to make throws. And can he do it against Alabama? He never has before. So there's a reason out in Vegas that line's 26.
Yeah. I tell you right now, everybody says Alabama's not playing anybody, but listen to this. All right, they played LSU last weekend. They're playing Mississippi State this weekend. Then they have a laugher. Then they play Auburn.
The worst game ever, Citadel.
And then they play the SEC championship game. And then they play the first round of the playoffs. Hey, that's a pretty tough schedule. And then for the championship, that's 5 pretty good teams. Mississippi State, Auburn, Georgia. The first round of the playoffs probably be Michigan, and the other championship probably be Clemson. Now, is that an easy schedule or not?
Well, you know, a lot of people
let me ask this: if they win all of them, wouldn't you think they deserve to be national champions?
Well, I mean, a lot of people were saying yesterday, even if Alabama was to get to Atlanta at 12-0 and somehow lose a close game in Georgia, a lot of people think Alabama would still be in.
You got to do like they did last year. Who are the 4 best football teams in America?
Yeah, I mean, my big thing is this year is, you know, I mean, will Notre Dame just be like they were, you know, when they got in the national championship game with Alabama where they just get destroyed?
You know, it looks like they play better defense than they used to. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I watched a little bit of that Northwestern game. I mean, Northwestern played them pretty tough. And, I mean, it's one of those type things where, I mean, I just don't think they have the athletes to stay on the field with a Clemson or an Alabama.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Alabama and Clemson again. I really do. I mean, I think that's who you're going to see in the national championship.
Before I forget it, I want to make sure you know to go out and vote today. It's very important to vote, and we appreciate you very much.
I'll tell you what, man, I am ready for this election to be over. I had just random people coming up to my house and knocking on my door and saying, hey, Mr. Amos, vote for so-and-so. I was just like, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I know it. And no telling who comes up to your door.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, I was like, are you serious? You're really going door to door? I guess they just volunteer and do it.
And another thing, and let's talk about Troy a little bit. Of course, Troy goes on the road to play a team that they have a hard time beating regardless of the record. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a tough place to play. Tough. I mean, it's just tough to go against that offense. I mean, that offense is.
You know what I say?
I mean, they're gonna get chop blocked. Right. I mean, it's gonna be.
Yeah, they are gonna get chop blocked. But I will say this, Mike. The guy you got to stop, the quarterback. You stop the quarterback, it's over. But how do you stop him?
They said Works is.
Do you tackle him every play, or what do you do?
I mean, they said Works is extremely, like a jitterbug. I mean, he's like just hard to tackle and hard to get down. They have 3 running backs back there with him.
Do they throw it much, or they?
It's one of those type of things you never know who's gonna get the ball.
Now, what they'll try to do is keep the ball away from Troy too. Don't you agree?
It's all about eye discipline when you're playing an option team.
Yeah, but also if they try to hold the ball and keep the ball away from Troy, I would think that'd be part of their strategy, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is for Troy to get a lead like Lon Monroe did. If you can get a lead on a team like Georgia Southern, they press a little bit more.
They have a hard time, yeah.
They tend to make a mistake, and then they have to try to throw the ball, and that's definitely not what they want to do.
Tell us about this coach. Of course, the last coach was a friend of mine, a good guy, and a guy that used to be at Troy. And
Tyson Summers.
But tell us about this guy now. He was Tyson Summers' assistant coach.
Special teams coach. Yeah, this guy had never been a head coach in college, never been a head coach in high school. His name was Chad Lunsford. And, he's done a great job taking over.
And how he got that job now. Another good friend of ours, Jeremy Rowell.
A really great friend to everybody in the community, Jeremy Rowell.
Jeremy Rowell is their secondary coach. And,
that's right.
And a good friend of ours, he and his wife. And, of course, he
married a girl from Luverne.
He not only played here, but he coached here for several years. And I'd love to see him come back. He's a great guy.
I mean, Jeremy Rall, I don't care what anybody says. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame one day for football.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something else about him, too, that made him so different. He ran about a 4.5 and he also bench pressed 400 pounds.
Yeah, he's from Crestview, Florida.
Hey, that was pretty.
He also worked at the Troy Country Club, so everybody out there loved him when he worked out there,
yeah,
too.
And, of course, he could run. He was strong and a very good player. He was the quarterback on Troy's first ever 12-0 team. Is that right?
Yeah, the one that lost a heartbreaking game.
Yeah, lost two
Georgia Southern.
Two Georgia Southern. And had them on the goal line. All they had to do was kick a field goal in it.
To go to overtime, yeah.
And we might have won it all that year. That was a great team.
That was the best Troy team ever as far as, players and, they blew out. They were like Alabama back then. They blew out everybody they played.
Mike, there's a big game tonight.
I remember we went to Stanford one night and played them on a Thursday night, that team did. I think they beat Stanford by 50 points at Stanford.
Oh, yeah, they sure did. Want to mention Buffalo is on TV tonight against Kent State. The only person I know that might be watching is Nick Saban, because he played at Kent
Buffalo,
State.
they say Buffalo has a big-time quarterback, big 6'7" quarterback that everybody needs to be looking at. That might be drafted in the first round next year.
6'7"?
Yeah.
Man, oh, man, quite a quarterback. Want to mention also things that are going on in our community. Charles Henderson High School of Troy travels to Ramsey, Mike, to play Ramsey 9-1. Charles Henderson 3-6, and Ramsey 9-1. What do you think?
You know what I think about that. I don't think that's going to be good for Charles Henderson, but I tell you what, that's a situation where this team won it all in 6A a couple of years ago, so that should be enough for everybody to know that they probably are the favorite team to win in 5A.
Yeah. And,
they can recruit kids in the Ramsey High School. It's in downtown Birmingham.
Tell the people that are listening exactly how you can get to Ramsey High School.
Oh, it's pretty easy. You go to Red Mountain Expressway off 280, and you get off right there.
Now, we're coming from Troy. Tell them exactly how to do it. You're coming from Troy.
Oh, well, no. Well, they don't play their games downtown, though. They play in East Birmingham, near Eastwood. So if you're going to the game,
459, is that right?
You go 65 to 459 and wrap around 459 to 2059 and get off on a Port of Madrid Boulevard is what you do.
2050, you get off at, again, 2059, is that right?
Yeah, they play at Lawson Field, where a lot of high school teams in Birmingham play.
And that's
near the Irondale area.
Okay. And
it's a long trip when you do the wraparound. You're talking about getting 2 hours and 20 minutes from Troy.
But and of course, Charles Henderson will be bringing their band and their cheerleaders and playing against a good team.
You have nothing to lose. They ought to go for it on fourth down every time.
I tell you what, they're not a bad team. They're a young team. They've got a lot of talent on their team. Talking about Charles Henderson, got a quarterback, Puka Jones. I think is going to be a great quarterback next year. And they've got good young receivers. They would need to do a bunch of stuff early to feel like they got a chance to win. But we're looking at in 5A football, Ramsey's 9-1, the third best record. Well, actually the second. Well, excuse me. There's only one other undefeated team. Viger's 91, and so is Etowah's 10-0. So they've got the third best record in Class 5A.
Speaking of Etowah, the new offense coordinator of the Cleveland Browns is Freddie Kitchens.
Is he really? The Cleveland Browns. Well, they fired their coach, though. Who'd they hire?
They brought in an interim coach, but Freddie Kitchens is now the offense coordinator calling the plays because Hugh Jackson used to call the plays.
I think Freddie Kitchens might be the most underrated quarterback ever. I think on a good team, he'd been a heck of a quarterback.
Well, he was on some good teams in Alabama.
Yeah. Well, I was in the stand.
Gene Stallings was the coach.
Yeah. And of course, he was was molded to be a Major League Baseball pitcher, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a pitcher. You know, one thing about Kitchens is, you know, a lot of people always remember that great comeback he had against Auburn. Auburn got up about 19-0 with Gabe Gross at quarterback.
Yeah,
And I was at that game at Legion Field, and came back and threw a little shuttle pass to Dennis Riddle at the end of the game to win it.
Yeah. You remember also the game, I was at the game.
Well, yeah, we were in the game in Auburn where he threw the ball to Brown in the end zone.
Right.
And, you know, obviously.
And I really believe all they
had
were.
it as the catch, but, you know, they didn't have replay.
Yeah, that's right. And then, was that the next day they showed.
You were also at the game when Terry Bowden was coaching Mike DeBoe's first year. When
I was out there
Alabama had the lead and threw that horrible shuttle pass to Ed System. Yeah. And Houston drilled him, and Alabama fumbled late. Holmes kicked a field goal to win it.
Yeah, I remember that well. And Holmes
came in and led Alabama back in that game, too.
Holmes never kicked in the pros, but he sure was a good college kicker. I'll tell you this. Do you remember the day after they showed the kid's foot in the end zone for Alabama would have won the game? Do you remember that?
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago. That was when Stallings was there.
All right, yeah. But
Alabama just squandered
any kind of instant replay would have said he caught the ball, it had been a touchdown, and Alabama would have won the game. You remember that?
You know what's crazy, though, is all DeBose had to do was run the clock out.
That's all he had to do was run the clock out. It was crazy.
And Alabama was a miserable 3-8 or 4-8 that year, and would have beat Auburn. That would have made a lot of fans happy.
So you folks heading to Birmingham, look out where you're going, and it's a great program. Ramsey High School won the state championship 2 years ago in 6A, didn't he?
Yeah, they beat Brian Blackman and Eufaula.
Yeah, sure did. So they're well coached, a good football team. So who would you rather play, Ramsey or play that team that was so good from over in Oxford? Who had the best program?
Well, you know, Oxford's a 6A school, so I don't know. I mean, I think both of them are really good.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, let's get ready for Saturday, man. It's coming down the stretch. The Crimson Tide of Alabama will be going at it on CBS, Mike. The 2:30 kickoff is the game of the week. Is that right?
Yeah. It's going to be a CBS game, and then the big news yesterday is the Iron Bowl has come out, and it's going to be on CBS at 2:30 as well.
Well, what is the kickoff for that game? 2:30?
Yeah, the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, it'll probably be the big game of the week, probably. But Alabama, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to host Mississippi State. And Mike, that kickoff.
A lot of people don't know that the closest campuses as far as SEC schools are Starkville, Mississippi, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So
that's right.
Only a 70-mile drive apart.
Yeah. And we'll tell you one thing, too, that's a little different about Tuscaloosa, Mike. What is it?
That you have to go through metal detectors?
No. But you do have to go through medical detectors.
40,000 more seats?
No, what else?
I don't know.
It's the only town in the United States of America named Tuscaloosa. Now, they get that now. How many other towns do you find that
yeah, you know, I didn't realize yesterday until I was coming back from Athens, Georgia, that there was Auburn, Georgia.
Auburn, Georgia, that's right. I wonder if there's a Los Angeles somewhere else, or of course we know there's another L.A., don't we?
I don't know. I don't know too many other Star Bowls, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know it. But it's amazing. That was a little trivia that I wanted to point out this morning. Of course, high school football and comes to Troy, the Veterans Stadium, Mike, on the 17th of, well, it wouldn't be the 17th, it would be the 16th of November. And right now, the teams in Class A, Wilcox Academy plays at Chambers. Chambers will probably win that game. Southern Academy 8-2 at Crenshaw.
So, I mean, what other local teams do we need to talk about, though, in the actual public school?
All right, well,
you got Luverne.
I know. Let me finish telling you this one first. This is the game, the All-Star game coming to Troy. The Independence
state championship games.
All right, Crenshaw Christian, coached by your buddy.
He's your buddy way more than he's my buddy. I don't know him that well.
Wayne Grant, and he got his team 10-1. It's a very good chance. Chambers, with my good friend Tommy Garrett coaching there against Crenshaw. That'll be in the Class 1A. Southern Choctaw plays Autauga, and Autauga's 10-1, and they should win that game. And they could play Edgewood, Mike, the old stomping grounds of the Autauga coach. But they're going to have a hard time going through Escambia Academy, though, coached by Hugh Fountain, Mike, the defending 2A champions. And now,
all Hugh Fountain's done is won about 250 games.
Yeah, that's right. Also in 3A, Glenwood, who upset Charles Simpson, plays at Bessemer. Bessemer will win that game probably easily. And Macon East, Glenn Lott's team plays at undefeated Monroe. So this is my prediction, is that we'll see Bessemer and Monroe. We'll see Autauga and Escambia. And we'll see Chambers and Crenshaw. Those are the teams that I think will be here in Troy. And they'll be bringing their whole town. The whole town. Luverne will be bringing a town. Chambers is in Lafayette, Alabama. They'll be bringing their community. Autauga Academy is in Prattville. They'll be bringing a bunch of folks from Prattville. Bessemer from Birmingham will be bringing a big contingent. And also Monroe Academy.
The thing about Bessemer is none of their players are from Bessemer. They're from all over Birmingham.
Oh, yeah, they sure are. Now, who's the latest great player to come out of there? Do you know?
I don't know any of the names this year.
Okay, I want to take a look quickly at 7A, Mike, the big schools. And I reckon everybody's – Thompson is playing at host to Florence. Thompson should move from there. Bob Jones playing at Hoover. Hoover should move, even though Hoover got clobbered this past week, Mike.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're playing – we always joke around and say Hoover College. You're talking about every single five-star player in the country playing for IMG. It's ridiculous.
Some of them happen to be from Alabama, too, don't they?
I mean, some of them could be. Bo Scarver went down there and played 1 year.
Yeah. I think they do have a couple of Alabama players.
I'll say this is not a great Hoover team compared to some of the others. They got blown out by Hewitt Trussell earlier in the season, too.
Yeah. McGill Tulane out of Mobile is always good. They play Prattville. Central Phoenix City, my good friend Jamie DeBose, and he's a great guy, I'm telling you. He's got his team 10-0, and he'll play Daviston. Mountain Brook.
He won a lot of state championships at Prattville. I'm sure he's ready to win another one.
Mountain Brook's got a little Troy flavor. They're playing at Austin of Decatur. Austin's liable to beat them, Mike.
Yeah, Mountain Brook's had a great season. I think more unexpected than people thought. At one time they're undefeated through several games, but they lost 2 games in a row, and then they beat Gardendale this past weekend.
Yeah, Mike, I went to of course I did. I went to the Thompson Mountain Brook.
Yeah, I dropped you off.
And of course that's where the young man from
so that's Al Gibbs' grandson.
Young Al Gibbs, Al Gibbs, who used to be mayor of Troy, and a good friend of mine. His grandson, who's Dan Strother Gibbs, plays quarterback as a sophomore at Mountain Brook.
Yeah, that's according to our neighbor Larry Hancock that was at the game.
Yeah, Larry Hancock was the game. His daughter or one of his grandchildren was was a cheerleader at Mountain Brook. And I counted them. There were about 30, maybe 40 cheerleaders at Mountain Brook. I was so impressed with the way they did things.
My wife, from Mountain Brook, and they take the cheerleading and the Dorian dance team is a huge thing.
Yeah, that's right.
My wife was a Dorian.
Yeah.
And every single kid in Mountain Brook, any sport they play, or any dance team, any cheerleading, even debate, there's a sign in those parents' yard.
That's right, and it's impressive.
The kid's name and number is
You're
really
exactly
amazing.
right, and it's impressive. It shows their support not only of their young person, but also their school. It's a classy way to do things, to let folks know that, hey, we're involved. So
Yeah,
you move to Mountain Brook,
for that kid,
you move to Mountain Brook and you don't want to be involved, you need to get on out of there. Don't you agree?
Yeah, they do the same thing for Vestavia as well.
Yeah, exactly. Vestavia is a great program, and there's so many good programs. Kenny Keith's team, Mike, is 9-1. They're going to play host to Lamar County. Lamar County be a bunch of those tough
that's good football up in Lamar County, up around Millport.
Pike County plays host to Oakman. Pike County's 8-2, but got
that's a long
drilled.
trip from Oakman. Oakman's right outside of Birmingham.
I know it. It is.
Tuscaloosa heading to Jasper.
It is. I'm sure they'll stop in Troy and warm up probably.
Yeah.
Pike County got drilled though, Mike. Sweetwater. What did I tell you about Sweetwater? They're 1A, but they'll beat most anybody you play.
Yeah, Coach Holland, I don't know if they had some guys that were out and didn't play that he sat out. I don't know what happened there. That'd be interesting to find out.
Greenville also got destroyed.
Yeah, Stanhope destroyed them.
Stanhope, and boy, I tell you what, give me more of their running backs. That kid, Mike, did something that's never been done before, ladies and gentlemen. Tell him the running back for Troy, Mike.
Yeah, B.J. Smith broke the record for consecutive games of over 100 yards. He had
5 straight 100-yard games. And Mike,
the thing about it is Coach Brown said he was dinged up and didn't even practice all week. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, he is. I don't know, there's something about him. He runs to his blocks better than most folks. You know how some people just shoot up in there? Well, he's got great, quick feet, and he makes moves inside. You've noticed that, haven't you?
Yeah, I mentioned before on the show on Friday that Sawyer Smith needed to throw for 250 yards for us to win the game, and of course he did a little bit better than that. But I was looking at the numbers now. B.J. Smith's run for over 800 yards. Damian Willis has caught over 750 yards in receiving. We got a couple guys on offense that are putting up huge numbers.
Oh, yeah, no question about it.
Damian Willis will go over 1,000 yards in receiving this year. When's the last time that's happened?
That has not happened many times at all, so that could be breaking records.
But when the start of the season, if you would have told me B.J. Smith would have rushed for 1,000 yards, which looks like it's really going to happen, I would have told you I would never in my life would have believed that. But
we were waiting, and also we were waiting for Henderson, the great running back out of Dale County, to come through and start doing the things that made him so great. Of course, he rushed for 3,600 yards his senior year. And you know what? He's not even with the team anymore. Neither is the guy that transferred from Louisville. So all of these transfers don't work out. Isn't that right? Sometimes there's a reason why they're transferring, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a situation where Henderson now will, who knows what will happen. But if he tries to play somewhere else, he'd be his third school. So
yeah, that's right.
I don't know what will happen. But, jobs coming open. A lot of people think Petrino is out the door in Louisville. I was hearing somebody talking about that on the radio that
all right.
All the issues with Rick Pitino and the athletic department, athletic director, and a lot of people were disgruntled with Petrino as well in the football program. So that job's probably going to come open. Looks like North Carolina's going to come open. Maryland's going to come open. Kansas is already open. They just got rid of their coach.
They did. I thought the Kansas guy did a good job. He had them playing better than they've ever played.
He won 3 games this year, but before that he won like 2 and 2.
But those are 4 big jobs right there.
Louisville job would be real interesting to watch as far as our coaching staff due to the fact Neil Brown, being from Kentucky.
Yeah, no question. Well, hopefully we can hold on to him and, he'll stay around for.
I'll be honest with you, I'm more than happy if these guys get, a chance to go to the next level on a big Power 5 job. They've deserved it. I mean, what they've done at Troy has been incredible.
Yeah. No question about it.
That's what I was telling a buddy of mine. We're sitting there watching the game, and I said, man, several years ago, we were just hoping we could get to, 500, get to a bowl, and, we had, 3 losing seasons in a row, and now, we expect to win 8 or 9, 10 games every year. Now we're upset if we don't.
Let me tell you a few teams that are much better now. One of them is Boston College, and, of course, they play Clemson this week. The other one is Syracuse.
Yeah.
Much better than they've been being, and congratulations to them. A lot of these teams, though, you don't know what's
going on. Really good is Fresno State. Tedford left Cal and got fired out of Cal, and he's been having great teams out of Fresno State.
Okay. I'll tell you another team that's playing real well right now is Arizona State.
Yeah, Herm Edwards is
retirement
about 60 58 years old and has done a great job.
And ladies and gentlemen, my coach of the year and my team of the year is UAB. UAB.
Yeah,
the University of Alabama, Birmingham, ladies and gentlemen, could run the table the rest of the way and be 11-1. Mike, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are mentioning him for big-time jobs as well, and for them to do away with the football program and for him to rebuild it's been incredible. It really has been, and it's been great for the city of Birmingham. A lot of people in Birmingham are going out and supporting them.
Everybody thinks Oklahoma is a team that can stay with Alabama. Well, if they do, they'd better score 50 points, don't you think?
I watched that Texas Tech game and the very end of it. Man, their defense is awful.
That's why the Oklahoma's defense. They gave up 47,
Alabama
didn't
would
they?
score 70 on them.
Yeah. Another team that just seems to always play well because they're so well coached is Duke. How in the world did Duke win, Mike?
You know who else is playing better now? And they've gotten to 5-4. It's Georgia Tech.
Yeah, well, he's well coached too. But Central Florida, nobody's going to beat them. They're going to be undefeated. What in the world are you going to do with a team that's won every game for the last 2 years?
I know, but you got to look at their schedule, man. I mean, Temple had them on the ropes, so the night they got beat.
Yeah, but they came back and beat them. The great teams come back and beat them. Their quarterback, ladies and gentlemen, might be the best in the country, Mike.
Yeah, huge game in the Mountain West. Fresno State 8-1 at Boise 7-2. So
yeah,
that's the Boise team that came into Troy and put 56 on Troy.
That's right. I think the game would be closer if they played again, but we've got a lot of injuries at Troy. Nebraska, bless their hearts, they played their guts out, Mike.
They played a great game against Ohio State, 36-31.
They did. Somebody said, and didn't y'all beat Nebraska? Trying to compare notes.
You'll laugh at us. We were in Grayton Beach, and so we were out there in the yard with the girls playing, and this guy parked on the side of the road. He was trying to walk down the red bar because there wasn't any parking. And I was joking around with him. I said, man, you can park in our yard for $20. And he started laughing. And he had on a Nebraska jacket. And I said, man, I've been to Nebraska. That's a great place to go to games. And my dad and I have been up there. I've been up there 2 times. My dad's been there 3 times. Y'all have great fans. And it was so much fun. He was, I think, kind of, shocked that, we were talking about Nebraska football down there. And I said, I'm a Troy grad. And we had a big win against y'all this year. And he said, man, we were blown away about how well run your program was. I was really impressed. We knew you had beaten LSU the week before, last year, but we still thought we'd win that game with our backup quarterback. But man, y'all were just a better team.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very complimentary of Troy.
I tell you, their class operated, no question. What's wrong with BYU? Something's wrong with them. A&M is probably the most overrated team of the year, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, until they went to Mississippi State and kind of just couldn't do anything in the second half and lost that game, and then what they did against Auburn. I mean, they just gave that game away. I mean, you got to find a win the game. Yeah. When you're up by 10 points with 7 minutes left and you lose that game, you got to be scratching your head.
No question about it. I'll tell you another big upset this week. Ladies and gentlemen, take it to the banks, ride out the banks, and meet everybody at the buy right. Make this announcement. Tennessee will beat Kentucky this week in Knoxville.
You think so? Tennessee only scored 14 points against Charlotte last night.
Tennessee will beat Kentucky and you can ride out. And let me tell you where the Kentucky folks do now. I mean, the Tennessee folks do now. They go to Banks Buy Right and buy some tissue paper, and they roll those trees out there in Banks, Mike, after a Tennessee win. Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee.
How about
you notice how you hold your nose when you say Rocky Top, Tennessee.
How about Liberty? Liberty was playing UMass this past weekend, the team to beat Troy. They're 4-4 now. But they were up by 14 in the fourth quarter against UMass. It goes to overtime. UMass wins that game to 59.
But 60, but
against Liberty.
Yeah. And why did we hold Liberty to? How many points?
16.
16.
No, I mean, not 16, 22.
22. Finally, I get some coffee. And bring me a water, too, if you don't mind. Oh, Scott Westfall.
The game I like this weekend, though, for us, I mean, I think will be, a potential upset is I like Colorado at home against Washington State. Washington State barely survived this past weekend against Cal, and I see Washington State falling this weekend.
Colorado's pretty good. Well, somebody needs to beat them because, let me tell you, that crazy guy, and a lot of people call him crazy, but he can coach football, believe you me. And, Mike, he's the best talk radio guy I believe I've ever heard.
Yeah, he is good. I mean, I've got his book. He's
interesting. And of course, he got his start. Tell him who we're talking about. Mike Leach. And, of course, he got in trouble at Texas Tech because he made a kid who had migraine headaches go in a room that was completely dark. They sent a manager.
Put him in the storage room.
Put him in a storage room, and they put one of the managers in there with him?
Yeah.
All right, they put a manager in there with him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've had migraines before, and one thing you don't want to see when you've got a migraine is light. You want it to be dark. Well, that's what the head coach didn't tell them to do it. I mean, their trainer told them to do it. Well, they did it, and the boy came back out and was making all kinds of complaints about being in that dark room all this time. And his daddy, who was a big-time announcer, which I think this hurt his career a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, Craig James.
I think Craig James hurt his career a little bit by doing what he did, but then filed suit against the Texas Tech folks. And the Texas Tech folks would not stand up for the coach and the medical people, and he lost his job.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I was looking at lines right now. Georgia's 14.5 at home against Auburn. Alabama's 24.5 at home against Mississippi State.
I would jump all over Auburn. Auburn might win the football game, Mike. Remember, hey, hear this. I'm going to say it one more time. Hey, Mike, you're forgetting about who Auburn is, Mike. You're forgetting about who Auburn is and who those Tigers are and where they're playing the game.
I really do think this will be a close game with Auburn and Georgia, though. I think
War Eagle! The Auburn Tigers going all the way to Athens, Georgia for a huge, huge football game between the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, it's Auburn and Georgia, two bitter rivals. They say the home team is the underdog every time these two teams meet. And, Mike, Auburn is on fire, Mike. They're on fire.
Well, I mean, they beat Ole Miss, and they came back and won a miracle finish against A&M. I mean,
I wanted those Auburn folks to feel good this morning, Mike.
I'll say this. Auburn, I think, matches up pretty well with Georgia, so I'll be interested to see what happens. I definitely don't think this will be a 14.5-point game.
Let me ask this. What has happened to Auburn's defensive front, and what's happened to their offensive front?
Well, the offensive front was, a bunch of new guys stepping in.
Well, offensive front, Auburn got...
And then they had a couple guys get hurt, so they just never really...
Auburn got 12 yards rushing in that game. 12 yards rushing. You can't win in the SEC with 12 yards rushing, but they did.
Yeah, I mean, A&M moved it up and down the field on them. I mean, they also missed a 35-yard field goal in the fourth quarter as well. That would have put it up to 13.
Oh, Jimbo, you could tell he hated it because, he'd already learned to hate Auburn, I'm sure.
Jimbo used to work at Auburn as offense coordinator.
What year was that? I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, he was there under Bowden.
All right, the big game. Johnny Williams going to this game. UAB playing host to Southern Mississippi, Mike. Should be a good game in Birmingham.
Yeah, that should be a good game. I hadn't seen the line on that. Southern Miss won this past weekend. Let me check and see that line.
What kind of record does Southern Miss have?
UAB is a 12-point favorite.
Ladies and gentlemen, something that you'll also need to know.
UAB is 8-1. Southern Miss is 4-4.
UAB scored 70 points on the bunch last week, And let me tell you a little secret. The offensive coordinator at UAB is Bryant Vincent, who coached right here at Charles Henson for 5 years. He and I became real good friends, Mike. We used to ride around together and go to rec games together. And Bryant Vincent is one outstanding offensive coordinator. His team scored 70 this last week. And, of course, he's one of the reasons why UAB is so good, Mike.
Yeah, he also, the quarterback was Tyler Johnson, the kid from Spanish Ford, because they're starting quarterback.
Yeah, that's where he had coached. Isn't that right?
Vincent had coached there, I think, years ago, but now Vincent came back from South Alabama, where he was offense coordinator after UAB. He was UAB's original offense coordinator. But, when they decided to give up football, he had to go get a job. So he went to South Alabama, coached for Joey. And then when Clark, UAB started back football again, he left UAB.
Wait a minute, Mike. I've got to move Big Al over a little bit because my good friend at First Cahaba Bank would have a fit if he saw an Alabama mascot in front of his bank. No, ladies and gentlemen, first.
I guarantee you, when you have a bank, you're fans of all. You're fans of Troy. You're fans of Auburn. You're fans of Alabama. You just want somebody to bank with you.
That's right. He is, and Grady Capps is a great man. And First Cahaba Bank will be opening.
What do you think about Ohio State at Michigan State? 3.5-point favorite. Ohio State at Michigan State. Do you see an upset there?
I don't know, but first of all, let me get rid of this real quick. First Cahaba Bank opens Thursday in their new facility. Located on the Publix Parkway right here in Troy. So brand new bank opening up in Troy in a new location, brand new location on Publix Boulevard. We appreciate it. Mike, people don't give Ohio State much respect. What do you think? If they beat Michigan, all right, hear this. If they beat Michigan, I think they're back in the playoffs.
Well, they still have to win the Big Ten championship game as well. They would both have one loss. Well, actually, Michigan would have two losses, so that would put Michigan out of it.
They'd be out of it, yeah.
A lot of people just don't naturally think Ohio State deserves to get in because they got beat by 29 points by an unranked Purdue team, and then they the reason they didn't get in last year is they got beat by an unranked Iowa team by 35 points.
That's right. But let me ask this: Ohio State. And Michigan, Ohio State's lost one. Is that right?
Yeah, that game will be.
Or if they beat Michigan, I really believe Ohio State will be in the top four.
That game will be in the Horseshoe, too. They'll be in Columbus.
Right now, I've got Alabama. I've got Clemson. I've got Notre Dame, I reckon, until somebody can beat them. And the other one, I reckon, would be Michigan. I'm going to put the Michigan-Ohio State winner. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Oklahoma will definitely have, a chance to get in as well. So it's going to be between those two, I would imagine, Oklahoma, Michigan, or Ohio State.
Other big games.
I don't think anybody's going to beat Clemson. I don't think anybody's going to beat Notre Dame. I'll be honest, I don't think anybody's going to beat Alabama.
I want to mention that Notre Dame plays Florida State this weekend. And
I'll say this. I don't know how much of the Alabama game you got to watch, but if the Alabama defense showed up against LSU shows up the rest of the season, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, it will be. What they're doing, they're just slamming them down and just sitting there waiting for the poor quarterback. I feel sorry. You remember that lick on the goal line that should have been a safety? That guy liked to have killed. He liked to have killed that LSU quarterback. Buddy, how did he get that kind of shot at the goal line? And what in the world is LSU doing play action on the goal line?
Yeah, that was a dumb play call. That was right after he'd thrown the interception.
But the most humiliating thing, Mike, tell them exactly what the most humiliating thing to LSU fans.
Orgeron tried to kick a field goal to avoid the shutout. Yeah.
All right, say it one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, but this was humiliating to the LSU fans and their program. Tell them what he did.
Well, he just decided to try to kick a 35-yard field goal instead of going for it in the fourth quarter. He tried to kick a field goal to avoid the shutout.
That's exactly right. Wasn't trying to catch up on the score. He was going to kick a field goal so Alabama wouldn't shut him out. Yeah. And I don't know and believe it or not, I think it went the wrong way with him because I think the LSU fans were humiliated a little bit.
You know, Orgeron did have Tua's brother Talua. The Thompson quarterback was on the field as a recruit with LSU before the game.
Was he really? Was he really?
Yeah, he was on the
you
field,
know what?
Walking across the 50-yard line.
I'm going to say something here.
But nobody expects him to switch.
I'm going to say something here right now. If he went to LSU, it would be a game changer. Hey, their program would be a game changer, Mike. If Tua's brother goes to LSU, it could be the difference in winning and losing. Period.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't think, because Tua will go pro after next year. So, Tyson and Talua will.
Tyson's going to hold for kicks, Mike. That's exactly what Tyson's going to do. Tyson will hold, and he's going to get his exposure.
Mac Jones came in, because Jalen Hurts couldn't play.
And he looked like a deer in the headlights.
And did you see, though, they ran the option with him?
I know it. Crazy call. They could have got him killed. I can tell right now, just looking at his maneuvers, the way he handles himself, that he don't belong there. He needs to be playing at Bethune-Cookman or somewhere like that, or a smaller program.
Well, Jalen Hurts will transfer, because he'll have one more year to play. So basically, you'll have Tua basically being his junior year, but he'll be his last year because he's going to go to the draft. And then you'll have basically Mac Jones as the backup, or Talua as the backup. Yeah. And then basically if you redshirted, the Tyson kid, or Talua, you'd have them for 4 more years.
Let me say this, and people might think I'm crazy here. I wouldn't doubt if Hurts didn't end up at Auburn.
They mentioned that on the radio.
He could end up at Auburn, and the Auburn, I think it would be unbelievable.
There's no doubt. He would rush for 1,000 yards at Auburn easy.
And
offense.
Well, I tell you what, it could happen. Of course, these guys can go anywhere they want to. Tell us where the Clemson Clemson quarterback was this week.
Well, he's been to Auburn. He was at Mississippi State last week. He's been to Arkansas, and he's been to North Carolina. He's been a lot of places.
This is the guy that led Clemson to a great season last year.
Yeah, led him to the playoffs. Kelly Bryant's his name.
Yeah, and is the kid they got now better than Kelly?
Yeah, as far as a thrower and being able to get the ball down the field, Trevor Lawrence is a lot better quarterback all around. He's a huge kid. He's 6'6", like 230 pounds. With long hair, you'd like him.
Oh, well, we got a lot of good games, and we'll talk about them tomorrow on our show. And of course,
I tell you what, though, one thing about Troy, though, if they were to fall to Georgia Southern, I did notice yesterday that Georgia Southern's last 2 games, and they're not near as good at home. They got blown out by La Monroe, almost got beat by Texas State at Texas State. Georgia Southern would still have to go on the road and play at Coastal Carolina, and then they would have to finish the year at Georgia State.
Coastal Carolina's pretty good at home, aren't they?
Yeah, and Georgia State's not bad at home, so it'll be interesting to see if Troy was to fall.
Yeah, you remember last year Georgia State beat them. You remember that?
Yeah, Troy would only have 1 loss. Georgia Southern would have 1 loss. Appalachian State would have 1 loss. So Troy was to lose, and they were to come back and beat Texas State. That game up in Appalachian State could still be for all the marbles if Georgia Southern, loses another game.
Yeah, that would be. And then, of
course,
course,
hopefully Troy can win, and then you hope then that that would give Georgia Southern 2 losses, so Troy would have the tiebreaker there against Georgia Southern, and you hope somehow if Troy was to fall to Appalachian State that maybe they would lose a game, where Troy would basically go into that Appalachian State game and not even have to win it.
Wouldn't that be something?
The championship.
That would be something, and be able to host the championship. Is that right?
Yeah, it would guarantee if Troy went into the Appalachian State game, and Appalachian State had already lost 2 games, that would guarantee Troy, even if they lost, with only 1 loss.
Put Troy in the driver's seat. You're exactly right. It'd be great. I want to mention our good friends at Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. We appreciate them so much. And, of course, our good friends at First Cahaba Bank. They're opening up their new doors on Thursday, and I want you to get out there and see them. Of course, Grady Cap, my good friend, and, of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors so much. Appreciate you even more for watching today in L.A. See you tomorrow. It's going to be a great show.